Channel 79, we're on the record. This is March 4th, 2020, a regular meeting of the Environmental Protection Commission. Starting with old business. EPC 02-2020, Karen Christensen, 9 Windsor Road, proposing a deer fence within a regulated area and upland review area. The site is shown on Assessor's Map number 26, is lot number 69. And Rich has prepared for us a draft proposal. Does anyone have any questions or comments?
I was not at the last meeting, but I did watch the last meeting.
Okay. William?
I did not.
I don't know. I don't think so.
That means I missed something because Jim's not here anymore.
I only have one small point on the
Oh.
address. It just
Yeah.
says Karen Henrik. I thought we might add
Oh, yeah,
last
thank you.
last name.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I have a motion to approve the draft approval. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you.
Seconded.
Second by Gunnar. All in favor? Aye. Next item, EPC 04-2020, Town of Darien, Oxford School, 395 Mansfield Avenue, proposing replacement of a stormwater discharge pipe in a regulated area and an upland review area. The site is shown on Assessor's Map number 2, is lot number 8. We have another draft approval from Rich. Does anyone have any questions or comments? Okay. I have a motion to approve. Gunnar, thank you. Second by Kelly, thank you. All in favor? Aye. Just to give our applicant a chance to appear for the first item of new business, we're going to move to the, skip that for the moment, and move to the agent approval, which is EPC 06-2020, Connecticut Property Care LLC, 9 Blueberry Lane, proposing septic system replacement in an upland review area. The site is shown on Assessor's Map number 7, is lot number 23. I believe this is a case of a failing septic system.
This is a total failed system, yep. Sewage on the surface. It's, the folks who were renting have moved out temporarily, or I don't know if they moved out permanently, but they moved out. So normally with these things, I just give my approval and let the health department handle it. With the septic repair, they have some flexibility with the health code and so on. And I'm not, up on all that. And, I couldn't tell you what they might be, but I know they're kind of putting it back in the same place. And it'll be one of these proprietary systems where they'll bring in fill, and it's, there are a couple of them now, S-boxes they call them, and there's a few that hopefully will work for many years in the future.
Is it the sanitation department, the
Health department?
They already looked at this?
Well, they received it the same day I did, and they had not approved it as of last Thursday. So I'm sure they'll give it an expedited review, because it's something that needs to be done quickly. So, but I can do it as an agent approval because there's no work within the wetland. It's within 50 feet. So.
Any other concerns, comments? Okay. Can we move to other business, or do we need to go back, finish the new
you
business?
could go to.
So we don't need to vote on that one?
No, because it's agent approval. There we go. Just in time, Mr. Tavesta. Welcome.
Well timed.
In time.
You're up.
All right.
Yeah. I'll give you a minute.
Yeah,
I'll give you 2
We're an
minutes.
efficient group this evening.
should we do the
Yeah.
request to transfer?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, give Doug a minute. Going to move to other business. John, oh my goodness. Pasvankius.
Yeah.
Apologies if I mutilated that. Request to transfer and extend EPC-18-2015, 31 Miller Road, proposing a house addition and patio within an upland review area. The site is shown on Assessor's Map number 29, is lot number 53. The new expiration date will be June 3rd, 2025. No additional extensions are permitted.
Your regulations require that you approve a transfer of a permit. And the way the statute reads is that you shall grant them an extension unless there are some extenuating circumstances, like they violated your permit conditions or did something they weren't, or maybe there's a new violation or something out there that they shouldn't have done. Otherwise, it says you shall grant the extension.
What if regulations change since the original?
I would have to ask the town attorney, but in terms of the expiration date, I don't think the regulations would change in a
No,
way.
not in this case, but generally, I'm just curious.
I can't think of a specific regulation that would change your timeframes for permits, but I would have to say if for some reason the statute changed. There was a time when they had a statute where after the recession in 2006, the state legislature passed a law automatically extending permits regardless of what towns did, and they gave them 9 years. So if something like that happened, then you would do whatever the new statute said. But I think, if you changed your regulation to say now all permits are 1 year, I don't think you could go back and take it away.
And this was issued how long ago? I'm just
Uh,
curious.
2015.
It's
5-year increments?
it's a little less than 5 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And there are no violations to...
No, there's no change on the property. And the new owners just want to keep it alive in case they want to go ahead. They have not decided to, but if they don't within 5 years, then they got to come back.
Okay, so I have a motion to approve the extension. William? And second, thank you, Kelly. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, Mr. DeVesta,
I'm up.
welcome.
Thank you.
Back to new business. EPC 05-2020, Joe Pagliarulo, 49 Sunswick Road, proposing a 2-lot subdivision and related house construction, septic system construction, and filling and grading within an upland review area. The site is shown on Assessor's Map number 62 as lot number 25 and number 28. Thank you.
Good evening, Doug DeVesta, represent the applicant. As Susan mentioned, the property is located at 49 Sunset Road. It's 2.59 acres in size. The map up here is the existing conditions map from William Seymour's office. It's in the R1 zone, so we have over 2 acres, so we can do a 2-lot subdivision. Each lot will be approximately 1.1 acres each. There is an existing house located approximately in the central portion of the property. Can you hear me okay, Bonnie, or not? Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, good, I want to make sure. So,
Thank you.
the existing house is approximately in the center here. There's also a detached garage. This house was built back in 1926, according to the assessor's records. And the detached garage was built around 1980. We had Jay Fain locate the wetlands. And I'll show you my map that should highlight them a little better. This is the site plan. We have 2 areas of wetlands. One wetland located on the south part of the property. It's approximately 1,500 square feet of wetlands area. The other one's on the north side, approximately 8,000 square feet of wetlands. The existing septic system, the house is on an existing septic system that's located behind the detached garage with the septic tank located up probably about that area. The existing septic system is located behind the detached garage. We're proposing to subdivide this into 2 lots. Again, we talked about the southern lot, 1.3 acres. The northern lot will be 1.2 acres, totaling about 2.5. We're looking to raise the existing house and construct 2 new houses, actually only adding 1 new house. We already have 1 existing house on the 2.5 acres, so we're actually adding 1 new house, but on each individual lots. We did a series of test holes throughout the property. We found adequate areas for a primary area for the southern lot, reserve area right below it, a primary area for the northern lot, and reserve area for the northern lot as well. So we have both primary and reserve areas. Looking at 4-bedroom house, 2 4-bedroom houses. The southern lot will reserve utilizing the same driveway entrance, and then bring it to a side load garage in the back. A new driveway cut will be required for the northern lot. The plans are down in the health department right now for review and approval. The property is served by municipal water. There's an existing water line meter located right near Sussex Road that ties to the existing house. That will be tied into the southern lot, and the northern lot will have a new water tap coming in there. The red line that you see here, that's the upland review area. For this wetlands, this line here is the upland review area for this wetlands here. So we're looking at a portion of the house, drainage area, the pool, and a small piece of the septic system and the grading going in the upland review area, as long as the detention area on the northern, the eastern part of the southern lot there, and a portion of the grading for the septic system for the northern lot in the upland review areas. We're not going in any wetlands area. We're close down here for the wetlands, but we're providing retaining wall for grading, providing open area to provide light windows in the basement for some natural light into the basement areas. In terms of drainage, we looked at each individual lots, pre-development, looking at it as a vacant lot as required by the planning and zoning regulations. We're collecting the runoff from the roof area, the drives from each of the house, bringing it into a detention system behind the house, and a piece in front of the house, and collecting a portion of the driveway from the southern lot. The northern lot, we've got a catch basin just before you get the sun sweat. Water would drain to a catch basin, and the driveway here and here, roof drains, and all that will be brought down to the detention area on the north and west portion of the property. We've looked at it for the 2, 10, 25, and 50-year design storms. We've got a zero increase in runoff for all storms provided. We also looked at water quality. So we have our detention areas. Will handle the water quality volume as well for each of the houses. Or for, I should say, for all the impervious areas in that on the property itself. That's really an overview of the project. Just want to bring it for your attention tonight. We know it's going to go to a public hearing, so we just want to give you an overview of the project. Is any comments from the commission now? We can at least look into it and provide some additional information if needed for the next meeting. We are looking to retain Matt Pop to do an environmental impact statement of the property, so that will be done before the public hearing at the next meeting there. They should have that probably a week or so before the next meeting, so that will be taken care of as well.
Okay. And the drainage, where is the water ultimately going?
We've got water running down this way. It runs down to the south and west. This is running down to the west and then south, ending up down off the other side here.
And what is it ultimately, what waterway is near there?
Well, ultimately, we'll get down to Long Island Sound.
Right.
We're pretty far down.
It's not,
Yeah, ultimately, yeah.
there's no, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I can pull up the town topo if you want me to, if you want to see ultimately where it's going.
Just roughly where it's going,
Sure.
that area is congested. Any question, the ledge that is there, are you blasting that away, or what are you planning to do with,
There's a spine.
behind the garage?
The garage is right here.
Yeah.
That big spine
Yes.
of ledge right in here and all through here. No, we're not. We're not
That's
touching that
tiny.
area. We did find, again, septic area below that ledge rock, right through here. But this whole big area of ledge rock, we're not taking out. There's a little bit of rock in this area in here we'll be taking out, but that's more, only a couple, maybe 18 inches or so below grade there. But we'll be taking a piece of this portion of ledge out of here. We dug a test hole up front here. We were down, I forget how many feet down, probably about 6 feet down, no ledge in that area there. So we're pretty much, clean with ledge in this area in here. There might be some ledge in this area and this here if we do have to blast it out or go with a crawl space portion of the garage, the basement there. These houses, what you're seeing here, are actual footprints my client will be building these houses. So we're actually looking for subdivision approval, but also approval from EPC to build these houses as we're showing here. That's why the plans are such detail. They typically don't go this much detail for a subdivision feasibility.
And what about trees, tree removal? What are you planning?
I have them marked on the plans here. We've got, got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in this area, 7. And 7 trees in this area where the existing house goes. This area here, we've got a few trees in the septic area, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trees or so in the septic area. But where the existing house is going here is pretty much where the existing garage and driveway is. So there's really no trees in that area, and also as well as the septic system behind the house itself.
Any questions from William?
What's the garage, what's the, square footage or impervious footprint for the garage? And
Existing garage?
Yeah, what would be the new house on the southern lot? That's one question. Also, did you ever consider putting the swimming pool on the other side instead of on the side closer to the wetlands, put it, I guess it would be kind of on the northern side?
This one here?
Right.
Well, we made an L-shaped house. My client really wanted to do a linear house, long house on here. And I said it won't fit on there because he wanted to do side load and all that stuff. And that's going to push us way too close to the wetlands area here. So I asked him to come up with a house plan that's more like an L shape. And that's what he did. So by doing an L shape, we were able to tuck the pool right in behind it there. On the northern side, we got the driveway. We have the driveway going there. And we have the building setback lines as well there. So we'd be tight there. I thought that by having an L-shaped house, it would provide an area to put a pool and just square everything off at that point there.
I was actually less concerned with the pool and more concerned with
The house.
the house that's coming far down, and so I get that the driveway goes that way, but did you explore moving, obviously you have the setback, but moving the house up and maybe swapping
The driveway.
the garage so that the driveway comes in, swapping the L on the house, like
From
flipping
the
it?
south?
Flipping it.
Yeah.
Can look into that. Yeah,
Because then if you can go a little, then you're a little bit further out of the,
move it up and over at least.
exactly. Just to, I don't know if it's feasible on the site, but I think that I would be more comfortable.
So, Rich, what is the precedent about putting buildings on this 50-foot area? I mean, we're trying to keep that, and you get pools, they seem to be allowed in there. But now we're building a whole piece of building right in that 50-foot zone. I mean, is that something we're just starting to allow happen?
Well, they wouldn't be here if they stayed more than 50 feet away. Their proposal is, to utilize the land for subdivision, which is their goal.
Yeah.
And if there's no significant physical adverse impact that can't be mitigated,
Well, I guess it's not as much about the proposal, but we do this often.
not necessarily for a new home, but certainly additions. And every application you see for a new addition that's within your 50-foot review area, each one's an individual case as to, what is the wetland quality and, is there going to be a physical impact? Is there going to be an impact to the wetland that can't be mitigated?
And as close as 20 feet. I mean, that's what when this thing's in place, you're 20 feet away from it.
That's why you get a wetland assessment from a wetland scientist who, indicate, who will explain, potential, if there are impacts. Again, if it's a potential impact, like we were talking before about what if the septic system fails, that's not grounds for denial to say it might fail or it could fail. But, other than that, they have to demonstrate that they've minimized impacts and that they're willing to mitigate, potentially.
And is there a point where you're 10 feet away that you say no? I'm
There's a
just
point-
trying to learn how.
Yeah, I understand. There's a
are there
point
any
where,
times we stop?
there's a point where they're going to have a physical impact, and, I can't say there's some magic number. Again, if it depends on the type and quality of the wetland. It depends on, if you have you had some where, you have, the wetland is all lawn, in a backyard, and someone does want to go up to the line with an addition. So is that reasonable, if they're willing to do, you know, in that case, you know, they're not even impacting, but many times they're willing to mitigate, so to speak, or do something elsewhere on the property. But many of those wetlands are never going to be restored. So a good example would be the swimming pool that you just approved last month. That was a wetland that's all lawn right behind the stone wall in the house. It's never going to be mitigated, never going to be restored to wetland. They came in with a proposal to actually be in the wetland, not just within 50 feet. And in exchange for doing that, they came up with a mitigation plan that I think it was 8 times the size of the impact to do a restoration. So that was one I thought was a well thought out and you know, worthwhile. So this is a similar, and they'll have to, you know, it's up to the applicant to satisfy it.
And we're having this independently reviewed, I believe?
Having the engineering reviewed, yeah.
Yeah.
The stormwater management,
To
yeah.
go back on to Rich was saying here, last month and the month before, you approved a subdivision on Hollow Tree Ridge Road that I just did. In the same scenario, we had a pocket of wetlands came down. We put a driveway across it to serve the existing house, with a new house below it, and there was a thing of wetlands going down there, and the house was, and also in the upland review area as well. Now the wetlands that we're talking about, again, we have this is the line here. This is, again, we're back to the existing conditions map from Seymour's office. This is the upland review area right here. So a portion of the existing house is already, the garage is in that upland view area, as well as a portion of the septic system is there as well. But also, on the plan, you'll see there's a catch basin here and here existing, with a pipe coming down and pipe draining down to the wetlands. So again, a lot of this wetlands area in here is part of a drainage system that comes down into this area here. So Matt will be able to tell us better if it's what kind of viability this wetlands is. It a real pristine wetlands? I'd say this wetlands back in here is probably more pristine than this wetlands along the southern portion here. But again, Matt will be able to tell us more as what kind of wetlands it really is. But again, a lot of it has to do with drainage that's coming off of Sunset Road and coming down that direction as well.
Have you considered, now that you've mentioned it, considered doing anything with that drainage for water quality?
There's really not much room there left to do anything. So again, there's really no easement there's really no easement coming across this property.
Yeah, I'll have to take another look at it, but I mean, even outlet protection.
Yeah, we'll look at that, yeah.
Matt will look at it, I'll
Yeah.
look at it also.
Doug, my first question was the difference in impervious.
I have that here for you.
Do you know what that is?
Yes, I went through this morning, so I have all the information for you.
Just out of curiosity.
So the existing garage here, the park and the carport is 13, about 1,300 square feet. The driveway is around almost 2,600 square feet of impervious areas there.
Is that total?
That's between, well, the total would be 39, almost 30 by 3. That's 4, 9. About 39, almost 4,000 square feet between the driveway and the garage itself.
So what's the new? Is that the
Okay,
new or is
so-
that the old?
Okay, so I went through and I looked at total impervious area. That's going to include the house, the patio, the other patio, the patio in front, and the walk down to the driveway and the existing house, and that's around 9,400 square feet. Lot 1, which is the southern lot,
Right.
which is the southern lot here, lot 1. Here, I've got approximately 6,400 square feet of impervious areas. And for lot 2, house, driveway, pool area, and all that, it's around 5,000, so a total of around 11,500 square feet of impervious area. So it's a increase of around 2,100 square feet of impervious area.
Does the existing house that's there now, does that have a basement?
Yes, it does.
Yes,
Does it flood?
no,
Sump pumps? Are the new houses going to have basements?
Yes, and I do have some pumps. I have a drain.
I have a footing drain leading down from the northern house down to our detention system here, and I have a sump pump here and drains into our catch basin and then ultimately down into our
Detention system in the rear of the house there.
Does that little stream along the southern part of, does that flood, or is that typically just?
Goes from dry to.
I'm sorry, she needs to come to the podium.
It's coming,
You want me to identify myself?
yes, for the
Yes,
record,
you have
please.
to
And it gets to come to the podium, though. Sorry.
Rebecca Orsman.
At the podium, sorry, the microphone.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Rebecca Orsman.
Thank you.
This is my family home. My parents, Steve and Enid Orsman, own it. That stream runs 9 months a year. The rest of the time when it's dry, it's dry. It does take the runoff from the street, so there is a pipe that runs down off the street into the top of the stream. But at most, it's, a very small stream. You could step across it.
I walked right down along the edge of it today, but how about the one, kind of on the northern, I guess it'd be, lot 1 is the northern lot?
Lot two, the northern one.
The one that kind of runs along the back of the, didn't look like there was much going on there either.
No, there's nothing there. I mean, most of the water is down at the bottom of the ravine.
Also, thank you, Rebecca.
Also, if you walk the site, if you walk up a little bit further up near the road here, into the wooded area there, you'll see
Like a 6-inch, I'm going to call it ADS pipe, that flexible black corrugated pipe. It looks like that someone
has a drain coming across the road, under the road, into this property as well. And if you go further up, this house over here has a pond on it.
So it may be an overflow from that pond there as well. I did notice that when I was out there, so I don't know how much water that contributes, but there's some water coming from that direction as well.
Any other questions for Mr. DeBesto?
Septic system, and I'm learning on this well too, the one on the first lot. So they have enough soil on all that ledge. I know the hump, I went out there today too. But below that hump, it's not ledge where the septic fields are going to be?
There's ledge there, yes. If you walked out there, you saw a lot of flags. I did over 42 test holes on 2 acres, which is extremely amount of soil. Trying to find the best area. So I hunt and pecked until I found an area. Per state health code, you have to be 4 feet above ledge rock to the bottom of the system. So from ledge rock to the bottom of the system, maybe 4 feet. Of that 4 feet, you have to have at least 2 feet of natural occurring soils. So that's what threw a lot of these test holes out the window, because I could not get a minimum of 2 feet.
Right.
So where I found the best soils was there, and I had at least 2 feet, if not more, to ledge rock. And then from there, you can bring in 2 feet of select fill. So you had your 4 feet, and then whatever the height of the product is, you bring that fill in there too. So we did have enough area, and the cross sections do show that I have to bring fill in for them, and it does meet the health code requirements.
And I'm sure it's engineered right, but that's going to have some velocity coming from the house down that hill before it hits there, right? So you have ways of slowing that down.
It's going to be pumped. So we have a gravity line from the house to the tank.
Okay.
The tank to the pump chamber. The pump chamber then will pump it up to that fields there.
At a certain rate.
Yeah,
That
we
it
have
can
it.
handle.
We have so many gallons per cycle. It goes out there. It goes into what we call a baffle D box, or a baffle that has a baffle in it.
Yeah,
So
I
the
saw your
velocity is
description.
down, and that goes distributes out into leaching fields.
Thanks.
Okay. Any questions? Okay. So a project like this, it's usually deemed it in the public interest to move to a public hearing. I have a motion thank you, Kelly. Second, Gunnar, thank you. All in favor? Aye. See
That'll be
you
April
April
1st.
1st.
April 1st, okay.
Thank you.
You sent this out to Joe, or what? What's
Joe's got it.
You already got it?
Well, by the way, Joe Canis is going to give me a proposal to review it under the Planning and Zoning Commission regulations. Either P&Z or EPC can have an outside consultant review applications at the applicant's expense. So what he'll do is he'll give me a quote, and then we'll get the payment will hold in escrow until the end of the hearings, until the whole end of EPC and P&Z. And so, with your permission, I'll get Joe to review it. You don't need to vote on that or anything.
All right, thank you.
So Joe's pretty good. I'll get that too. He'll get me a quote.
Do you have enough plans for him? Do you need it?
I gave them a hard copy.
Okay,
But
yeah,
in the
hard
future, I'm assuming you guys will
Yeah,
do
we can
all
talk, yeah.
electronically, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you next month.
Okay.
Okay, last item on the agenda, the minutes of February 5th, 2020.
I didn't, which was concerning, so I'm just gonna look quickly again.
I just had some small things
Good,
to skip to you.
Yep.
On page 2, let's see, 1, 2, 4 paragraphs up in the middle, it says, but they will design using the freshman.
I think he means the new design. He said the new design will decrease peak flows. Is that what you?
In the second sentence, he said
Wow.
they will decrease peak flows. Oh,
I just
further
wanted,
down.
let's see, 1, 2, 3. The fourth paragraph up about in the middle, said he
Right.
said the proposed
Oh,
improvements
sorry.
will be about the same as, but they will design using,
Right,
but they will
so,
design.
well, I think his point was that, I think what he was saying was that even though there's only a small increase in impervious surface, they're still going to design using the fresh meadow approach and assume that there's no development. So if it doesn't read right, that's what he said, or I meant to say.
Okay.
I think he was trying to make the point that they're, I think that the town regulation is very strict. So that even though there's only a small increase in impervious, they're following the town regulation.
Okay.
Anything else?
On the
I
la-
have,
Oh, go ahead.
oh, no, go ahead, go
All
ahead.
right, on the last page,
Yep.
at the very top little paragraph, it said the margin of error would be using a transit. Is that right? I mean, is that, what's
yeah.
a transit?
Oh, Mr. Urban asked, I'm not sure where you are, on page 3?
Top,
Page,
no.
at the top of page
Page
4.
four.
Page-
Oh, yeah, Mr. Yeah, I think what Mike was asking is, if you had somebody out there supervising, what would be a reasonable mistake or error in a job like this, when you're grading, and Doug said about 6 inches, and they're like over 2 feet, they're 2 to 3 feet off.
Okay.
I think he was making a point that they should have been
A little bit more
closer.
accurate.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all I
You
have.
sure?
Yep.
Okay, everyone's fine? Yep. Okay, and I have some minor edits.
Great.
Have a motion to approve the minutes from February 5th. Kelly, thank you. William, thank you for seconding. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That's Rich. Thank you. Okay. Well, it's been a long night.
We're adjourned.
May I have a motion to adjourn? Mr. Gunnar, thank you. Kelly, thank you, second. All in favor? Aye. Thank you, Channel 79.